Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Lanky Woodsman out here at camp. Just got here. It's the afternoon, probably it's about 5:30, and we're losing some daylight, but it's still all right here at camp. And I'm going to go ahead and get you guys out a video on my first survival knife that I ever bought. It's kind of a, not really sure why I haven't done a video on it up until now, but it's the Ka-Bar Becker BK2. With some modifications to it. So let me get that all set up for you guys and I'll be right back. Alright guys, back with my Becker BK2, and this is not stock. I put different handles on. I took off the black coating and I went ahead and did my own with gun bluing, and then I convexed the edge. And this is also an aftermarket sheath that I picked up. Nothing serious. It was just something that was like 40 bucks on eBay. This is the second pair of handles that I got for a Becker knife. So I will definitely go ahead and post the link to where I get those. And obviously I know this is by no means a review that's going to bring this knife to light or anything for anybody. This has been out there forever. A ton of people did videos on how to customize it, and you know, I know I'm not doing anything groundbreaking, but it is my very first one that I bought, so I figured why not do a video on this thing. So I have the normal tests out here. Can do some chopping, do some batoning, do some feather sticks, and see what we can get out of this thing. It is like a 1/4 inch thick. It's 1095 Crovan, has the nice pommel on the back. The only downfall I feel like to this knife is I wish it could be like, I don't know, 1.5 inches longer. Story of my life. But it's a great knife. It was really fun to work with this thing and customize it. So what I'll do, let me set up the chopping and just see how this thing bites into this. I'm not going to do anything crazy because the length of it, you can get kind of a grip back here and get a little bit of weight to it because it is a heavy knife. So let's see what it'll do. It's biting in pretty good, and again, just like with the Bark River Bravo Survivor, I'm just letting the weight of the knife and a quick flick of the wrist do the work. This would be easier if I had a larger log that would stay in place, but still working on that. I got to get a chainsaw out here and clean up those 3 trees that fell down, and I'll keep several longer ones to do this type of stuff with. So obviously chops well. I mean, it's a giant hunk of steel, you know, and it's sharp, so it's obviously going to chop well. No shock, there's enough there to absorb. So let's do a little bit of batoning, and I actually forgot my baton over at the lean-to, so let me go get that and I'll be right back with you guys. Baton through this piece of wood. I'm gonna run into the same thing I did last week. There's so much debris under this thing. Let's make it dig in and get sturdy. Be a little bit better. So this is where I feel like the downfall is. You know, you got not a whole lot of blade to work with here, but let's see how it does. So as you're going down, for something this size you're good, but anything else you're going to run out of blade on this end to hit. Piece of cake. Didn't think it was going to have an issue. So this thing has, in the name, it was the Campanion, and I believe the philosophy behind the design was that it was going to be kind of just your overall camp knife, not a survival blade, but many people put it in that survival category because of its size. It's built like a little tank, and it's built out of, you know, a good steel. It's obviously going to hold up to all of this abuse and more. I mean, you could probably open a door with this thing. Not to say that you couldn't with the Bravo Survivor, but that thing is just way too gorgeous to do that to. Now let's see how it does with feather sticking. If it doesn't do well, it's because the edge I put on it is crap, but let's just see how I did. It's doing pretty good, actually. Got a little knot there. That makes me happy that I did a good job on the edge. This thing is putting out some very fine little feathers. Good stuff. Comes with a coating on there, but once you take it off, it does have a 90-degree spine. So it should be no problem with the fire steel. Let me grab it. Beautiful, as you can see. Oh, wait, don't go towards my leg. If anybody can miss from this close, they deserve to get chopped in the leg. This thing just feels like a mini hatchet without the long handle. And it does the job. As far as something like doing notches, I think that's one of the bonuses of the camp section or part of this blade, is the ability to be that big and still be able to have good control over it. The handle that comes with it is plastic. I don't know what the actual, it might just be plastic, but it was pretty slippery. That was one of the main complaints. Another one of the complaints that I read a lot about was the material that the sheath was made out of was dulling the blade as you inserted and took it out. I believe they have since fixed that. It's like kind of a Kydex or a glass reinforced nylon or something like that. But there is a ton of customization that you can do to these. There's all sorts of handle scales. You know, the people do a lot with the forced patinas, and in general just the grind on the blade. Like I said, I made this one convexed. I just like it better now that I've been using bark rivers. So this is an overall great knife. I believe you can still get them for around 70 bucks. They are a beast of a knife in that price range. I do not regret buying this at all. It still comes with me all the time. I love using it. It's a fun little knife to use and throw its weight around. The steel is pretty good. It holds an edge decent. It was just my very first purchase when I started getting into the whole prepping and survival approximately 4 years ago. And you know, you'll find a lot of videos on this, because the first thing that, when I was typing in survival gear, this is like the first thing that came up. And that's how I ended up buying it. My next purchase was something, I wanted something a little bit smaller, and it was the BK16 with the flat grind, which I'll do like a real video on here coming up. But I just wanted to get out and give you guys a quick little view of what I did to my BK2. I believe that's supposed to be an ironwood on there. It's in need of some touch-up. I've used it a lot. I had to sand off down here a little bit because the removing of it had a really thick, nasty coating on it, and I took that off. It was definitely not something I wanted to mess with. But I know Dutch Bushcraft Knives did a test on this thing where they pounded it into a stump and like stood on it. It's definitely a very, very strong knife. And I know I've done a lot of videos on the Bark River knives, and not everybody's in that price range. I'm just here to review everything. I'm a little biased towards the Bark Rivers just because I like them so much, but that's just me being a knife person. This is definitely a very solid purchase. Any of these BK Becker combination knives will more than perform above their price tag, and you can usually get a bunch of them used and brand new still. I'll put a link to this knife on Amazon in the description of this video. And I just really can't think of much else I want to do with it. I didn't want to come out here and, you know, spend all day trying to sell somebody on this knife, but it's definitely a solid option, and don't overlook it because it's not one of the bigger knife brands. I mean, it's a big knife brand, but it's not a like custom knife brand. So thank you guys for stopping in to check out the BK Becker, the BK2, Becker BK2, Ka-Bar Becker BK2. And I appreciate you guys as always. Like and share the video if you can, and definitely subscribe if you haven't. And I'm hoping to do some bigger things coming up here. I got a couple of collaboration videos planned. Just need to nail down the specifics. And I have some new concepts that I'm going to be talking about, not just reviews. When I first started the channel, I wanted to get into like the whole preparedness thing, and I'm not like a in your bunker type, you know, preparedness person. I'm just more in the lines of like be prepared for everyday situations, situational awareness, those type of things. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, definitely let me know. and I'll get on that a little bit quicker. So thanks for stopping in, and I'll see you in the next one.